Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Thomas with Team WYT. Back here again in the home garage. This is Bryson's MK7 GTI. Bryson is actually in Florida, and we are just going to be helping him out and bagging his GTI, so when he returns home, he can air out on flex on everybody. But we have an Airlift Slam Series kit for the GTIs. We got the bags, we got everything needed. We got airlines, we got the harness, tank, cool compressor. We got Jordan already going to work. We got the car on all 4 jack stands on the lift. We're gonna be throwing a downpipe on this car as well today, making it loud, and we are gonna be bagging the GTI. So I'll throw some helpful tips in here if you are wanting to bag your GTI as well. And we were friendly enough to install his bags for him, because that's just how dumb we are. We're like, yeah, we'll do a 12-hour job for you.
Yeah,
it's fun to bag.
He's a homie.
So I'll leave Bryson's Instagram down in the description below. You can check out his car, his photos, his Instagram, everything. But yeah, we're gonna bag this with really quick. So Jordan is working on getting the stock struts out. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you've ever done coilovers or lowering springs, you just need to pull the struts out. So we can put in the new air struts. And we need to install the leader lines on those. And we'll get the harness ran and everything. Yeah, so sweet. We'll just keep working away. Jordan's the disorganized one. I went ahead and organized our workbench. You don't want to be working in a disorganized space. So we have everything over here that we need to install. Jordan's gonna pull out the axles to get the struts out in here. You see the axles connect there and there, and that'll just make pulling the struts out a lot easier. In progress on the front struts here. We got this disconnected. You just need to spread this clamping piece down here on the bottom and force this off. We use a hammer and we put pressure on it and it'll pull this off, and it makes it a lot easier to disconnect the axle back here. And there are a few axle bolts on there that you just need to undo, and the axle will pop out, and it'll make it a lot easier for this whole assembly to pull down off of the bottom of the strut, because unlike a lot of JDM cars where this bolts to this is actually a clamping system that you need to pry open and then pull off the bottom of the strut. Now Jordan is undoing the top 3 strut bolts. You just undo those and that'll drop the strut out. And then you just basically reverse this whole, everything you just did removing the strut with the new airlift strut. And it'll go back in exactly how it's supposed to, because you got the correct ones for your car, being the MK7 GTI. But before we install this, we are gonna install the leader line. So installing these hard lines into the bottom of the bag is super easy. Just follow the instructions. Make sure you don't over tighten the lines. You just wanna hand tighten it. I think it's 1 3/4 turns passing hand tight with the wrench. And we like to put this yellow Teflon tape. This is good for, rated for gases and air. So this is good for air suspension, not gonna get any leaks. And then we also install it with a 565? 565 thread sealant from Loctite. And that's what it'll look like when it's all done. And this will just make sure you don't have leaks. And this is a very important step. If you over tighten this, you will strip out this bag and you'll have to buy a new one. And if you don't do it correctly, it'll leak. So make sure you take precaution with this step. This is why we do the Teflon tape and the thread sealant.
It's better safer than sorry.
Triple up, yeah. We've done 4 cars now this way and 0 leaks. Knock on wood though. But yep, put on the push to connect fitting on that side, and then we can toss the bag in. And that's where the plastic line will connect up to the leader line of the air suspension bag. So install is going pretty good. You know, the struts is probably the most tedious process. You gotta take out the struts, then put the air ones in, and it just takes a long time, but it's not too difficult. Once you get that out of the way, it's just the wiring harness, running the lines, and doing the trunk setup. So just keep banging away. Get it done. It's just assembling the rear bags. Again, we have the Slam Series kit, so this could be different if you're getting the Performance Series kit, but we have to install this little bracket thing here on the top of the rear bag, or bottom, I can't really tell. The bottom, it's just this big old bracket thing. You can see the holes for where you mount it up. So Jordan is just doing that right now.
All right guys, so we got the rear bags in, if you can see that, and then the rear struts in. and it kind of just sits in there. And then up underneath, there's a little white washer that you just screw into. And yeah, and now we're gonna run the lines on it. I'll show you where we run those at. If you go to the trunk, normally you'll have a spare tire in here, and then if you have the Autobahn, you have the subwoofer. And I just took out the trunk liner because it's a lot easier. So you have all this room now. If you look right here, these little gray washer things, take a razor blade to it, cut through both of those. We got the front airlines ran. We put it all behind this fender liner just to hide the airlines so then they don't freeze and get ruined. And then right here, there's a fuel rail that we tucked it underneath all the way back. And then you got it running out through those lines. And then they come up across the top, go over the bags, and then come out underneath that heat shield. And then pops up the trunk like I showed you guys before, right there. And then you go over to the manifold.
All right, guys, the GTI is aired out, but we don't have the harness in yet. Jordan just put on the wheels. He's got the struts in the front and the rear in. He's got all the air lines ran. Did you show him where you ran the lines?
Yeah.
Okay, and they're just underneath the plastics and everything. And you showed him a little bit about the rears, right?
Yep.
And the rears installed. And Bryson did get the aftermarket struts. I know sometimes people will run the stock struts, and that's totally fine, but we pulled those out, and so now it's running the front and rear struts and bags. And this is how it's sitting right now. It's kind of funky, honestly. Usually when we air out a car, it goes all the way down in the rear.
A lot of the time on these ones, with aftermarket struts, you have to cut out the bump stops.
Okay,
And
so
I
we're
talked
gonna.
to Bryson about that last night, and he said if you gotta cut them, cut them.
All right, we're gonna try cutting the bump stops then. So we're gonna run the harness now. To do so, to get it through the firewall up here, you need to move the battery so you can see, because we want it to come up right through here, and there's not enough room to get back there. So we're gonna pop out the battery right now and get the harness ran through the firewall. We're just gonna get this harness ran, and then tighten up a couple of things underneath. And then I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and finishing up the trunk setup. Let me show you guys what we've got going on back here. Okay, so we have everything pulled out of the trunk, spare, sub, everything. Right now we're trying to, I think we're gonna mount the compressor up on top of the trunk floor, but we have the manifold bolted in over here because he wanted it, Bryson wanted it underneath. And we have the lines coming up through these grommets here. So that's good to go. And then we'll have the harness come through over here and connect up right here. We pulled up all the trim. You kind of just yank at it. Try not to break any clips. We never really break clips.
There's also a LED light in here that there's a few, or this little wire right here, this ribbon wire.
Yeah, so if you have the interior lighting, just be careful of that. And then just run the harness all the way down and into the trunk. There's a little gap underneath the pedals, like right behind the pedals. To run the power wire through. Yeah, just follow the stock harness. We poked it through, and it's coming up through here. We had to remove the battery just to get access to that. I think I already said that. So this is up here now, and this is ready to be connected. And we'll put a fuse on the power wire. I built the little piggyback that it comes with. I like to use this one. It's the black inline fuse right here. And then I just put a fuse connection on right here. It's just this blue one with the gold connector here. And then just a butt connector. And we'll connect that to the pink wire on the harness, which is the remote wire. And this is the fuse for the main power. So you'll put this on the end of the power line and then connect this to the battery. So we'll run this for the remote. This will be the fuse for the remote, and that'll be the fuse for the main power. So we're gonna do that right now. I cut the ends off of the compressor. We want to just cut the wires off because it has some weird connections on there. Sorry, it's really dark back here, but I just put the two yellow butt connectors that they gave us on there, and those will be ready to connect to these two wires on the harness. So I'm going to connect the fuse wire up in the fuse box. It's on the driver's side. Right underneath that little drawer tray. A little change drawer, you just pop that out, and then you can run your piggyback fuse, which is this little pink wire right here. So you'll just connect this to your piggyback, and the fuse box is right in here. You just go right below the light switch, and there's a little change drawer thing right there. We pop that out, there's a fuse box, and do a fuse that is only gonna turn on when the car is on, and that is what will tell the air suspension to turn on. So we'll get all that done right now. Oh, and we also pulled up all the trim over here. Well, Jordan did. Jordan pulled up all the trim. Have you ran that cord over there yet? Okay, but we're going to run the little USB female connection over there for the controller, and have the controller come out over in the center console here, and so that's why that's pulled out. And that's just a few screws and just pulling it out like the trim, right?
No screws whatsoever.
No screws, so you just pull? Sick. All right, well, give you an update in a sec. Guys, Jordan got the car all bagged. Here's the finished up trunk setup here. Got the compressor mounted up top along with the tank. No leaks or anything? Nice job, dude. And guys, I'm not gonna take credit. I did about 5% of the work. Jordan did everything. Absolutely killing it. Air it up here. Then we'll go check out this off the lift here. All right, guys, we got the GTI all finished up here. Jordan finished bagging it with a tiny bit of help from me. But yeah, this is how she's sitting. We'll go get a cinematic shot. This is the ride height, right? Yeah.
It's good!
This is a pretty sick ride height we got here. Jordan absolutely killed this install. Bryson is gonna be much appreciated. It's pretty sick.
Bryson's gonna be so happy.
And you got the system all calibrated. Now we'll just we'll see how she looks. Air it out. He's back, and the car is bagged. What a nice thing to just go on a trip and have and come back and have your car bagged. I think that's freaking awesome. What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing. When they offered to do that, I got so excited I barely wanted to go to Florida. I just wanted to be back so bad to just see my car. I've never had a bagged car. I've always wanted one, and now I have one that I get to drive every day because of Thomas and Jordan.
We like bagging cars. Not really, but we wanted to help Bryson out. He's a cool guy, and I think my favorite cars to bag are Volkswagens. They're just so much fun. And so, what are your thoughts on having it bagged? You've had it bagged for what? You've been back for 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, enough. Yeah, but getting the fitment right already, just with the wheels that I have, super excited to just see it touch the ground almost.
Oh yeah, you're freaking dumped. Mark 7 sits so low, even on the 19s, because these are 19s, right?
Yeah, I don't even have to cut the. I can knots the frame, but I haven't, and you don't have to sit as low as me and Jordan do.
Oh yeah, and you still have killer fitment in the rear. You can tell in the cinematic footage that we just shot that the rear is tucking as well as the fronts. There's only, I think the front, what is it, left side or right side that has the frame notching to be done?
The right side.
But you can barely even tell. I mean, you get up close, you can notice that it's a little bit higher, but you know, that's just Volkswagen things. It is what it is. You can get that done at a later date. But yeah, the whole airlift install went really well. Volkswagens are honestly, I say this a lot, meant to be bagged. They're just really easy cars to get it done. It was a pretty easy install. Everything went, there's no real big issues. It's not bad at all. And we installed the new downpipe for you, yeah?
Yeah, it's really loud.
It's super loud. I'll make sure to get some exhaust clips. Like airing out is just, it hits different, and it's you know, you can tell just how happy he was coming back and everything. Just seeing. Jordan said you cried. Is that true?
I probably did. I think on FaceTime I did.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Bryson's super hyped to have the car bagged. It's perfect.
It looks really good.
Now.
And it sounds good. It rides awesome.
Yeah, the car turned out great. So we're very happy that Bryson is happy with the bag install. Me and Jordan will add another car to our books that we've both bagged. You know, it's stacking up there. I think 5 or 6 cars now that we've both bagged together. So, you know, just add it on there. And another guy has joined the bag life, and we're happy for Bryson. The car's gonna be looking sick. Hopefully we can feature it some more on the channel.
Yes.
But yeah, this is Bryson's MK7 GTI that we have bagged. So if you guys enjoyed today's content, please leave a like down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.